Hey guys, so this video is mainly for the independent artists who aren't signed, who don't have publicists, who don't have a working team for them yet, really. I get a ton of emails, Instagram messages, Twitter messages, Facebook messages, you name it, asking for some kind of write-up on their band. This is going to be some advice that I have for some of you, coming from not only a journalist, but also I have started in the publicity side of things as well. I've been writing for Alternative Nation since July of 2016, and I've been working part-time in the public relations side of the music industry since June of 2017. None of what I'm going to be saying is demeaning in any way or is aimed specifically at anybody. It's just some things that I think bands who are looking for publicity might need to hear, might need to kind of readjust the way they're going about doing things. First and foremost, what I would say is to hire a publicist. I know that this can be expensive, but it is ultimately the easiest way for you to get somebody who's going to sell your story for you. If you can't hire a publicist, maybe if you know anybody or know anybody who knows anybody who is looking for PR experience, you can maybe take them on as an intern, and then you'll have the benefit of somebody doing the work for you, and they'll have the benefit of getting experience sending out emails and doing other press-related things for your band. Now, if you can't do either of those things, obviously the next step is that you have to be your own publicist. You have to come up with your own marketing strategies. There's so many articles and YouTube videos and everything else on how to build a following and how to really get your campaign started on your own for your band. Do research. There's a ton of it online from artists saying how they got started. Unfortunately, if you don't have a team working for you, you do have to kind of do it the old-fashioned way, but it is 2018, and thanks to technology, getting your name put out there is easier than ever. Use social media. Make a Twitter account for the band, make an Instagram, make a YouTube channel, make a Facebook, make everything that you can and use it as actively as you can. My suggestion is to have basically a role for everybody in the band. The person who's best at communicating and who would ultimately be doing the most of your interviews, which usually is the singer, but not always. Singers aren't always the most bubbly in the band. Have the person who has the best communication skills be the manager of all your social media accounts, be the one who does all the posts and everything. Interact with people, engage with fans. This is how you are going to build a following. You have to build a following. Now, working in the two public relations firms that I have been with, the rule of thumb when scouting talent or when, just thinking about taking a band onto the team that we want to work for is they tend to want to see that you have a following on Facebook of about 2,000 people. Now, I know that that's not exactly easy to do, especially when you're just starting out, but you have to build your following. You have to show that you have a fan base, that local bars are making money off of you. This is a business. That's how business works. And if you're not willing to do the work to make your own following and build your own fan base, then how can you expect anybody else to want to work for you? You building your own following shows that you have dedication. It shows that you have talent and music that people like, and that you are marketable for somebody to want to work for. Try to build a bit of a following, even if it's just local, before reaching out to these bigger publications and everything, especially. And going off of that, when you are reaching out to publications, try to start with the independent ones first. Don't jump into reaching out to Alternative Nation, Consequence of Sound, Blabbermouth, all these other media sites that tend to cover bigger names. Know the audience of the websites that you are reaching out to and know what the typical coverage is. Start with the independent magazines and websites, local college newspapers and radio, because I can guarantee you that if you do have some kind of published article that you can send links to when you're reaching out to these journalists, that you are going to have a higher chance of sparking their attention. I know that if I receive emails that are really only streamable content for music and there's no proof that anybody has spoken about you before, then I'm less likely to want to speak about you. Please sell your story, make it unique, tell us why you deserve to be written about. Listen, I can only imagine how hard it is for starting musicians who are trying to build a following and do all of this on their own. But you also have to understand, and I'm trying to say this in the nicest way possible, but for the most part, journalism, especially in music, especially in rock music, isn't a very sustainable full-time career. Unless you're like a top rock critic for Rolling Stone or something, most of us have other jobs and are busy doing other things on the side to help support ourselves. And if I'm not studying or going to class or doing homework, then I'm working on press campaigns for the company that I'm working as an assistant publicist with now. If I'm not doing that, then I'm writing, whether it's for Alternative Nation, for my own blog. If I'm not doing that, I'm recording, and if I'm not doing that, I'm editing. So, and that's just me being a student. Imagine the journalists who are also working full-time jobs. We do this because we love it. If you're not willing to tell us why you deserve to be written about, then what makes you think we're going to even want to read your email? And honestly, it is distasteful and almost insulting when I receive an email from somebody saying, hey, can you review my album? And that's it. I don't know what genre you are. I don't know who your influences are. You have given me absolutely no reason why I should even click the streaming link. You have to tell your story. Tell what you think your sound is similar to. Tell us why you think you deserve more attention and what you've been doing and how hard you've been working to try to get it. I do like to see a little bit more effort on the artist side. If you're not willing to put in the work for yourself, you can't expect other people to want to do it for you. You should try to find what their niche is. Please don't send rock journalists hip-hop music. And this goes for publicists too. And I also work as a publicist, so I know both sides of this. You are supposed to do a little bit of research on the journalist and see what they've covered in the past, and if you don't think that what you create as a musician is similar to what they cover, then don't bother. What stands out to me also as a journalist is when I get emails that say, hey Lauren, I saw some of your YouTube videos, or I read some of your articles on Alternative Nation, I saw that you did this, I saw that you did that. If you show the journalist that you have actually studied up on what they've covered, it also will flag their attention a lot better. Networking. Network is so important. Go to shows that are coming to the city near you. Meet the musicians. Stay after the show. Meet some of the people on their label if they're there. Meet their management. Meet some of the photographers and the journalists that might be at those shows. Network. Introduce yourselves. Build relationships with everyone you can. Build relationships with other musicians, because if they grow faster than you, they could end up taking you on tour with them as an opener. And there's some attention for you right off the bat. It does take time. It's not going to happen overnight, but you need to set realistic goals. I'm all for independent bands doing their own thing and building their own label and starting from the ground up. That's just kind of how it's always been. Some artists get luckier than others and they take off quicker, but you will get there if you employ the right tactics.